So thank you for the presentation. Nice, because it was clear. I was going to speak about digital twin, but I've not much to say because you already explain a lot. So first of all, thank you, Camille and Mark and the team from PRISM for this fantastic invitation. I come from Belgium. My name is Thierry Jourquin. I'm the co-founder of XRintelligence. We exist with the first name XRintelligence in 2005, so it's a long road. Today, I'm for a short time, I'm combining different responsibilities. I'm chairman of Stereopsia, and Stereopsia is an event that happens in Europe, in Brussels, and we merge with IWDE this year, Augmented World Exposition. This is a leader expo in California, and we're going to bring this event in December. I'm also a member of XR4Europe, and I'm also in connect with DG Connect for the AR/VR coalition. And when I put all the things that I'm doing in ChatGPT, it's a nice job, but you have to make choice very short because it's not possible to go further. But so we said, so XRintelligence, we can compare with Digital Catapult to make it short. So we have as customer also Thales Aerospace. We're doing some great work for Duracell, digital twin for the fabric. We work for air product. Interesting when we mention for air product, for example, we are in food manufacturing, and we instead to bring the machine to the customer, we bring the digital copy to the customer. We also work for a company as the National Railroads. We have a digital twin of the Brussels station, rail station, and we collaborate in the project of a digital twin from Liège airport. So we said we do a lot of things, but what is interesting also is that for a short period of time, I'm the tech lead of human interaction technology transfer, and in fact, it's the ecosystem of the, so as maybe you probably know, Belgium is cut in two pieces. You have the north and the south, two different regions about language. And in the south, so my mission is to accelerate, and it will stop next year. But my mission is in fact, how can I integrate XR technology through those strategic pillars? Because the S3 is a European directive. The help and the one structure, the development of innovation and research in all the region in Europe. So we said this is the draft of the region, and we have our core activities, what we call domain initiative strategic, and this is where we have to focus. So with the consortium, we try to accelerate the adoption of XR technology through those pillars and with different kind of missions. So it was very interesting to hear what happened here in Ireland this morning. And if I can make a comparison, I said, congratulations for this initiative, because the only way to move on is to move on together. And from the learning, from the innovative, from the SME, from the big company, the fact that you bring all the ecosystem together, this is very important, and it's also what we try to do in Belgium. And this is the ecosystem. So I don't want to go too deep, but university, research, intra, big company, startup, very similar at what you're doing here in Ireland. So I don't want to be long, but maybe to come with the next, and it's a good transition about the fact that what we feel today and what are a little bit on the edge, the reaction of the market, because this is what I want to share with you is when we have said and presented all those things, how we do that concrete. And so what I want to share is just some insight around methodology. And indeed, I'm very, very interesting by the fact that we can rapidly use the rapid prototyping to engage customer, and also how we combine today with artificial intelligence. So this is an old chart that I used a lot of years ago. But when we speak about those technology and they converge, it's also what we put behind the word. I remember a few years ago, it was a hype around the metaverse, but I still convinced that the metaverse exists. So we said, Europe speaking about the virtual world, and the two leading companies in Europe, they bring this message that is Siemens and Dassault. And it's make absolutely something to be followed. So it's evolved. So the combined technology, it's not only a question about charts, but it's now a reality. Another thing that I want to share with you is my vision about those blocks are as Lego blocks, pieces that you can put together. So for me, everything is here. The question and the challenge is how you bring it together. So my lack of vocabulary in English, I apologize, but I'm still somebody to assemble the things, to enable the things, and I think it's very important to help company to understand that. And if I can make it short, in one comparison of image, let's say, I meet a lot of fabricants of candle, and they think about the electrical transformation. And they said, yeah, Thierry, yes, we have finally succeeded. We have done the electrical transformation. So tomorrow we're going to build electrical candle. And I say, yes, but maybe you have to try post-technology as a bulb. And they say, I'm sorry, Thierry, but we built candle as years. Why we have to change? We're going to do electric candle. And this is the difficulties that I have sometimes with organization. For those that have made the digital transformation, they have to think about the future with a total new way to bring the things. And for example, what makes the difference? Because if we speak about artificial intelligence or 3D, at XRintelligence, we remember the time when we used the silicon graphic and we modelized in 3D. So those things are not related new. And even with artificial intelligence, we can think about Deep Blue on other evolution. What makes the difference today is that with the digital transformation, companies will deliver a huge amount of data. And those, the post-digital technology, as I mentioned here, are the technology that can, in fact, take those data in form and to bring it. So I like to say, for example, that XR build the world and AI give the means of it. What are those technology? Of course, we use those game engine for industry and for construction. Well, I receive a lot of questions about the future, about the device. But when I said it very short, I'm more an architect and I'm not selling doors. So for me, I don't make so difference. We speak about the future, about the new Android XR. I can say that I'm not working with a big fabric of battery. It is a project for 3 years. And we're going to develop LLM. So we bring all the information about the R&D department with the idea to put that inside a new device. But we are very convinced that if today the device doesn't exist, the device will be there in 3 months or 3 years. So we already developed the content for a device, even if the device doesn't exist today. So for me, I see that at years at the Apple Vision Pro and in the past, it's for me just door touch point to those immersive content. The content is the most important thing to build. One thing I've built for the region is what I call an adoption scale. Alors, because I'm working a lot with university and research, this is to do a comparison with when you go to the doctor, the practitioner, he has what is called the pain scale from I have pain, how much we have pain, from 1 to 5. Well, this is exactly the same, because when I meet company for the first time and we speak about XR, the company says, yes, we do that. Yes, we do that. And then the question is, what do you do precise? And if you do something, for example, on the level 2, we do some pilot project, is just to let them understand that what they do is belong to a journey, to a development. So this is for me very important because a lot of companies don't know usage of it, and I just want to illustrate the level 0. For example, company has with the CAD file for architecture, the Revit file from the suite Autodesk, for example. So they have already 3D format they can stage on headsets. And this is not a question about budget. It's not a question about technology. It's just a question, they don't know that. So sometimes the fact that you evaluate step by step is absolutely possible for company, whatever they are, big or little company. Alors, to the fact of XR rapid prototyping powers AI by design, The only remark that I want to say with your presentation, absolutely right. The thing is that we speak also about the digital twin prototype. So you're absolutely right. When you have the instance and the copy and they interact together, we can also begin to speak that before it's built. And this is something interesting because for me, I want to tackle the company in the beginning. So when we bring them to the journey, how to build a digital twin, how to interact the virtual content with data, it's a purely question about how we can let them evaluate. What I also want to share with you is I do discovery, XR workshop, almost more than 10 years. And each time I do that for the first time to people, 95% of the people are amazed. And everybody say to me, wow, this is the future. We have to speak together how we can imagine the solution. But 6 months or 18 months later, maybe 3 of them will be finally big customers. So the conversion rate between the enjoyment, this fantastic moment, and the fact that we sign a contract is complicated, long, and difficult. And you're going to say, yes, but you have to improve your commercial process. No, it's not only that. The fact is, when I meet a C-level responsible for an organization, he say always, all the time to me, well, Thierry, I have already think about, maybe we can't imagine, but they have not a very precise idea of what he wants. And this is what we do at XRintelligence. I say, okay, I come back in 2 days and I'm going to show you what is your idea. So I reduce the gap. And this is why for me, XR prototyping is so powerful, because we as technological company, we can do project in 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months. We are the best to do that. But at the end, we deliver something, they will finish more or less on the shelf of the organization. Why? Because the technology time is not the same as the human time. All the success that we have with organization is that instead to do the things in 3 months, we do that in 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. Why? Because it's the adoption time of the organization. So this is very important for me, that when we build something, we take time to go step by step with a pedagogical way. So be said, of course, we have the 3D model, and because we start from XR, and then step by step, we're going to link with the data, and then you can improve your model to go to the Holy Grail when you can go to predictive model. Now, things did change also at our company. We have now data scientists that come inside the organization. And then we see that the use of XR prototyping is also interesting in the build and in the way you can develop an AI solution. So, back to the rapid prototyping, we are very, very in the first TRL level of CRL level. This is, for me, also interesting in my journey with the company, is that I can start the idea from the beginning. Even when the organization is not very clear with what they want to do, how they want to do, with who in the organization. And then the comparison is interesting, for example, for the data science project, because it looks like, certainly today, in a sort of black box, and how you can tackle that, how you can bring the things together, also inside your organization. And this is why XR prototyping, I repeat, is a very crucial moment, because it's the starting of a journey, not only about the maturity level of digital twin, but also in a change digital adoption of this. Another important thing that we do with Eishin. Eishin is a company from Toyota, and they designed the future of the electric car. And the people, they do the UX manager and the development of the product. They use already all years the virtual reality component to imagine, to develop the things. But what was super interesting to speak with them is that instead to do an iteration process when the UX designer gives the briefing to the XR manager, we help the UX designer already to design the things in VR. For those that have done that before, I enjoy you to use, for example, different tools as prototype in Unity of ShapeXR. Those kind of platforms are very, very powerful because you can, in fact, already shape your project in XR instead to do a full development approach. So this is indeed about the rapid prototyping. Because it's not only just faster, but it's also deeper and more collaborative with the people. This is what we have done in 2 days. So this is with different university in the north of the country this time. And they have a robot with different parts. And we said to them, we're going to prototype the different functionalities of your robot. And they were amazed to see that in few days, you can already have something enough to explain how the things work. We have already, but I don't want to reiterate what was fantastic presented about the aspects of the validation. Maybe speak about one of great experiences. So this is the new office from ETIAS. ETIAS is an insurance company in Belgium, very important, and they move in a new office. So it's 3,000 employees going to work in a new place. So you can imagine, of course, now after COVID, everything to do with the well-being and the way of hybrid way of working. So it's very tricky. But this is made in Unreal. But we never told that in the first meeting. The first meeting, we was thinking about different possibilities, and they say, by the way, we're going to build a new building. And so the first mission for us for the first months was just to show the wall to the infrastructure company. Just explain how the bicycle parking was too small. Just explain why the barista have to be placed in the bâtiment. So the idea is, and sometimes I want to illustrate what I call the Netflix approach. In my mind, in our mind, we have the 5 seasons, what we want to sell and to demonstrate. But the customer cannot see that. And first we have to do the pilot. And the only way to sell the season 2 is to finish season 1. And this is how now it brings. So the success that we have with customer take time, but it works. But we have to respect the velocity. You're going to say, okay, then you realize that in Unreal, yes, it was super powerful for the people. They can go and visit the place 1 year before they're going to move. So in the change management, it was nice. But it's not what exactly I want to show you, is that because you're going to say to me, okay, Thierry, but now they move. So what's this the next? Well, the next, we still that invented. For example, now we're doing fire simulation. It is perfectly well for an insurance company. Thank you. But so we can use, what is interesting is that they are owner of a twin of the building. And we have to be creative to show them that the journey is not finished. And that now we can link the data from the badging. We can link the data of the IoT, of the energy consumption. And so to make the parallel with the previous presentation, when you have the global picture, here the idea is to bring the organization without that they know exactly where we're going, step by step, as a maturity of integration. Then another point that I want to, because I was listening all the day, so I don't want to repeat what already said, but interesting also, when you're using XR technology, you can improve the development of data science life cycle project. And I'm going to give you quick different advantage of that. Is that, for example, when you do predictive modeling, well, you can test in virtual reality your result more easy. We are, for example, now deploying default detection with 3D camera. And this is come to one interesting point is synthetic data factory. So when you deploy 3D camera to avoid default and improve detection, you can use the immersive content to nurture, in fact, your synthetic data. Instead to use photo and video, you can have the same result if you use your immersive development. I speed up because the time is connected, and also go to everything is virtual commissioning. So the idea is instead to build, you can directly improve if you develop a new production line with 3D detection. You can do your process before you change your production. And this is, for example, where we are now working. We have it's a cobot, because cobot you can manipulate with your hands at the confront of robot. But we have, in fact, the possibility to operate a 3D assets, and then with 5G, you can, through RoboGuides, simulate the real robot. At Inversum, you can start from the robot and take the information. But this is nice, but it takes time for the organization to understand step by step how we can reach and how we can do that. Voilà, this is in a nutshell what I want to say to you. One thing, and just say that now that we combine XR and AI inside the company, I will not do step back. I mean, when I'm going to see a company, I'm not going to sell XR or virtual reality. For me now, VR and AI are the two things that combine when we can tackle a new project, and you have to take it first. So I repeat, for me, rapid prototyping is the best way to engage a company and to imagine the solution in innovation that you can bring. Thank you.